Hi, what's going on? It's 151. We're back for yet another show. I, of course, am Adam. I'm in a pink shirt. We'll get to that later. And, of course, I'm joined by a man who once punched Captain America so hard in the face that he was like, I can't do this all day. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Justin.
Thank you.
So, this week, we're covering Civil War.
Yep.
And we got to be kind of quick about it because, truth be told, this will come out like here a little bit later on. But we're going to Comic-Con here in a few minutes.
We're squeezing this in. This is kind of a special. Let's pregame Comic-Con and let's do Civil War because we just saw it.
Exactly, and we're going to move you just a little bit closer because Justin has a new mic stand. He literally has a new mic stand right there. You guys see it? Yeah, right in front of you.
Just so you can hear me better.
Yes, and it looks cool. Plus, it's got like 10 pounds of weight to hold the mic upright.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways,
I've got a weighty mic.
Real quick before we get to Civil War, we should make mention that ABC, no more Peggy Carter.
Nope.
No more Marvel's Most Wanted.
Nope. That didn't. I mean, it never even hit the air.
Which kind of sucks for the two main characters, Bobby and I can't remember the other dude's name. But basically get kicked off the show just so they can start up this other new show.
And then not get picked up.
And then it's like, no, we're not going to do that. So so you have that in the news. You're pissed off about Castle.
Yeah. I mean,
Which I never got into that show for some reason.
there's 8 seasons to go pick back up on. I
think it's on Netflix, isn't it?
Netflix or Hulu, one of the two. You're going to find it.
So we've got that. What other TV news was there real quick? Muppets, yeah, I don't really care.
I know.
I'll be honest with you. I could care less, really. Boy, that hurt, didn't it?
No, not really.
Okay.
I mean,
Oh, excuse me.
I don't value your opinion that much.
Looking weirdly at the camera. Anyways, and then Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I assume, got picked up again, right?
Yeah, it got renewed.
What's funny about all this is Marvel, everywhere that DC has failed in movies, Marvel has failed at TV.
Oh, speaking of DC and TV, Supergirl is going to move off of CBS and onto the CW. They're gonna cut the budget for the show. They're going to move it to Canada.
Yeah.
To record, moving it out of LA. So it's getting a season 2, but it's going to be greatly reduced.
I really tried to watch that show the first time, and I turned it off. I had no interest in that at all.
I watched the pilot. The pilot was pretty okay, but it is hard. The TV viewing time that I have is all DVR stuff. It's all a couple hours a week. It's got to be, to get me to watch anything live is almost impossible.
So that brings us to Civil War, which you saw it before me. You saw it early.
I saw it before it released.
You actually had the picture of the press pass, which was pretty awesome.
One of my vendors for my company had a special screening the night before.
Just making some mid-show adjustments.
You're fine.
The new mic stand is, Yeah.
No, they had a screening the night before, the night it came out. So there was a limited number of tickets available, and I got to go see it the night before. Excellent. In fact,
where did you see it at?
Jordan Creek.
Oh, it was at Jordan Creek?
Yeah, they got 2 of the theaters at Jordan Creek. They were pretty good size. It was actually emptier than I thought it was going to be. Because they brought us in, they got to sit down, they came up, the sales team went through everything, and then the guys that went with me, I'm like, well, I'm going to go out and refill my popcorn real quick, and then went, oh crap, no, there's no previews, we're just boom right now.
Oh, cool.
So there was no waiting, no nothing, just
right into the movie.
Started it right up and went.
And your thoughts?
Oh, it's great.
That's about as good as a Marvel movie can get, I think, or a comic book movie in general.
It was just a good movie.
It really was
in general. I mean, it was a logical progression. It was not this, we watched for 2 hours and it was this, the plot was not a contrivance to get these scenes shoehorned into the movie. Mm-hmm. It was actually one that it logically went from point A to point B. The only difference was, this could have been, if you take the superhero equation out of it and say, okay, this is the A-team almost, you
Okay.
know, and say, okay, well, these guys don't agree and we're going to do this and we're going to sanction this and just change that to a group of military guys. Take the superhero equation out of it. It's still the same movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah, I would agree.
That's always been my thing. Science fiction in general, superhero movies especially. All the best Star Trek episodes, for example, whether or not you had that as a Star Trek episode, it would have been a good show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a bank
It's
heist.
a good story.
Yes, it's a bank heist, and we're doing it in a Star Trek episode. It's a psychological thriller, and we're doing it as Captain America Winter Soldier. It's a good World War II movie, and we're doing it as Captain America. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This was just a good movie.
And I think what I was scared about going into this, and even a year ago when we were talking about this, was you have so many characters that are being put into this movie. You had Ant-Man, you had Hawkeye, you had Spider-Man, you had Vision.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I probably should have said that at the beginning, but
We are going to wreck some stuff. So.
at this point, it just doesn't matter.
Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry. If you want to turn us off right now, that's cool, but follow us on Twitter and Facebook, okay? 151 The Show. But that's what really scared me about it was the fact that you were going to have so many characters. Mm-hmm. And let's face it, Civil War, the actual comic, did you ever read it?
Parts and pieces. I never actually sit down with the whole thing.
There's a lot of story to that thing. It pretty much encompassed the entire Marvel universe. Mm-hmm. And, as crappy as a job as they've done of taking these big stories in the past and cutting them down and making them into a movie, I was really scared. But I got to tell you, man, that movie worked so well. They did such a great job of putting in, extra characters who, let's face it, did you really need Spider-Man in this movie? Probably not.
No, but they had him.
But you had him, and they did a great job of doing a very short, concise introduction.
Which everybody knows who Spider-Man is. They don't need that introduction. They don't have to slap the audience across the face with it.
It's like you take that stuff versus how they did it in Batman Superman, where you had to go back and show Bruce's parents getting killed again and all this. It's like, you don't need that.
I do want to address one thing real quick that I saw on the internet the other day as to why Iron Man picked Spider-Man over Daredevil.
I saw the headline, but I never read the article.
Because Daredevil can't stop a 3,000-pound car at 40 miles an hour, and Spider-Man can't. He's not a heavy hitter. I'm sorry. We'll get to that, something about Spider-Man here in a little bit that I thought was amazingly funny. But you had all these people that you brought into the movie, and you never felt like any of it was forced. No.
And then they took, the overall idea of Civil War, and they cut it down, and it really wasn't Civil War, the comic.
No,
it was
wasn't.
Civil War, the movie. It
wasn't
them taking some, one of these great stories, like, I'm blanking off the top of my head, but you know what I'm saying, where they took the great idea of it, the framework, and put it into a movie version.
Because when you're looking at a blank page, if you want to go for a year and a half, if you want to do the death of Superman and drag that out for 6 months, if you want to do the Killing Joke, if you want to do Civil War and kill Captain America, kill Steve Rogers at the end of it, so be it. You can do it. It is a blank page. At the end of the movie, with the framework of the MCU, let's face it, you can substantially alter these characters.
Yeah.
You can't do some of the things. And I thought what this one did, spoiler alert, was really good. At the end of the movie, you have it flipped entirely from where you think it ought to be.
Yeah.
8 years ago, with Tony Stark coming out as Iron Man, you'd have said, if somebody's going to, flip off the rules and go rogue, it's going to be Iron Man.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what's great about this storyline is that you had, the guy that's usually the rebel, just in general, even going back to the comic book version, the guy that's the rebel is the one that is now getting in line with the government. And then you have Captain America, Mr. Play It by the Book all the time, doing his thing.
Well, but here's the thing. If Captain America is suddenly at odds with the law, maybe you should review the law.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I mean, it's Captain Friggin' America. I mean, you don't.
I will say this: I think it was funny in the movie, and I don't know if people really picked up on it or not. But like, you go to the big battle at the end, the airport deal, and you have Tony Stark's team, who weapon designer, made War Machine, all this stuff. And War Machine, when he pulls out all the guns all at once against a certain, we'll say, larger foe. Spoiler.
Oh, we're going to talk about that.
Okay. But anyways, you have his team kind of like doing these non-lethal, like the sound blasts and all that to try and put down people. And it's like they're trying to stop his team. Not kill them, stop it. Then you flip to the other side, and Captain America straight up tries to kill Spider-Man by dropping a large chunk of metal.
Yeah.
The airport, I can't think, I wanted to say tarmac, but that's not the right word.
Well, I mean,
right on his head without even knowing if he could carry it or not.
Nobody, besides the fact that he sounds like a 12-year-old, nobody, I think, really, gathered the fact that he's a 15-year-old kid.
Well, even Rhodey at one point, how young is this guy?
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, there's no restraint. I mean, what we were talking about earlier, one of your favorite parts of the movie, kind of like, Hulk did to Thor with the, punch him in the shoulder. Tony just reaches out and blasts Falcon
right after Rhodey.
Yeah,
Rhodey should be dead. I mean, come on.
Oh, there's no webbing. There's no concussive force, restraint in that suit.
No, he should be straight up.
Yeah,
they should have opened it up and it just like
goo
poured out.
Yeah, just goo.
So it's just so much. It was so much fun.
It was.
Like, you really look at that movie, and, one of the movie reviewers that I talked to, like, he really said it well, that this movie shows you, one, how good Marvel is at this stuff, and two, how bad, like, a Batman Superman was, where they had essentially the same thing, where you're putting in all these stories and stuff. I mean, it's not too far off.
Because you have, again, it's the acknowledgement, like I've talked about, a dozen times. You acknowledge it. You have Falcon say to the kid, "Hey, I don't know if you've ever been in a fight before, but there's usually not this much talking."
Yeah.
I mean, you have you've got a metal arm. That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it like that. I mean, just how they do it, and it shows what a good story does for a movie. I mean, you could have pretty much anybody acting that you want. Like, say Robert Downey Jr. wasn't Iron Man. Would it suck? Yeah, but there's such a good story with a lot of these things.
Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Nick Cage. Rudy!
Yeah, I mean, you can...
I've got 36 hours. Bring in, man.
But you look at it from that stance, it's like the story is so good and so well done. Everyone gets, their little piece of pie, and they do it in a way that's smooth and it makes sense. And I think that's what this movie...
It's easy. You tell a simple point A to point B, straightforward, bad guy. I don't think he's the bad guy. Okay, Cap's gone rogue. We got to stop Cap. Hey, I still don't think he's a bad guy. Oh, I might have been wrong.
Yeah.
Fight.
It's a very simple story. You don't have the really weird stuff. Like, the one thing for have you seen it yet?
I still haven't seen it.
There's a part in the movie where a portal opens up in the Batcave.
Okay.
And like the Flash's head comes out. And Bruce Wayne's kind of staring at it, and then it disappears, and you never hear anything else about it. If I'm in that spot and a goddamn portal opens up in my basement, like, I would probably be like, "Hey, Justin, there's a portal that opened up in my basement.
We're just gonna toss it off, and we'll call it back, 3 movies from now." But
yeah, but I mean,
you acknowledge it.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, they're like, okay, yeah, let's set up this really cool story for down the road. But it's got so much crap in it that you don't need it. Now, truth be told, like I said earlier, did Civil War really need Spider-Man? No. Did it really need Ant-Man? No. Did you really need Hawkeye? I know.
But they brought something to the table.
But they brought something to the table, and they did it well.
Yeah.
And you didn't need a ton of backstory.
But, I mean, in a way, you did kind of need Hawkeye because you needed the other core member of the Avengers that isn't superpowered to fight with Black Widow and say, "Hey, are we still friends?"
Did you really need that, though?
Yeah, I think you did.
Okay.
I think that whole "are
All
we
right,
still going to be friends after this?" Depends on how hard you hit me. It bears out.
And then what's her name throws her in, uses magic or whatever to throw her into a plane or
Yeah.
something. I forget what she tosses her, but it's like, man, you could have straight up killed her.
Could have.
But yeah, I did think that was funny how one side is like, we're going to murder you,
Get out of the way.
but we're standing on the side of good, so it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I mean, let's face it, for a bunch of, supposedly, mature people that are responsible for saving the world time and time again, they're doing an awful lot of property damage to somebody else's property for, what should be a, hey, we're not leaving, the dinner table until we figure this out.
Well, I still like the TV series. Did you hear about that one with Marvel? What they wanted to do? They had this idea for a TV series where it was just cleanup crews going around and cleaning up all
Nice.
the superheroes' messes,
Nice.
and like the Agents of Shield or whatever.
Yeah, there could be just a Shield has a special cleanup crew to go back to respond to these things.
Yeah,
and fix it.
that's exactly what
Nice.
it was, and it was awesome. I'm like, that I'd watch that, at least give it a try. It'd probably get boring real quick, but I'd do that.
They could do a mini series,
Yeah.
Have one guy who's always just effing giant man rip the wing off a plane. Oh,
Yeah.
spoiler alert, giant man.
Yeah, Giant Man's in there, but didn't Lego or something already?
Yeah, I think so.
Or no, it was the toy head things, the Funko.
Funko.
There it is.
I ruined something for my wife last night at the dinner table. Oh, Peggy Carter, the funeral.
Oh, okay.
Because that'd been like I knew about that months and months and months
Well,
ago.
yeah,
It wasn't even really a spoiler, to me
Yeah.
anymore. But I mentioned something about when we heard that it got canceled, Agent Carter got canceled. I'm like, well, first they kill her in the movie, and now this. She's like, she dies in the movie. I'm like, she's not even in it. It's just her funeral.
Yeah. And her really hot, what is she, niece?
Great niece.
Great niece? Oh, she's okay.
She's okay.
She's all right. Captain America finally
Yeah.
getting a little action.
Yeah, hopefully.
You know what? Another brilliant part, and you bring that mention in that part, the relationship between Bucky and Falcon, Sam. It's just tremendous. Can you move your seat up?
The two buddies of the one guy who don't really like each other, and I mean we've all had that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. No, I like this guy, and I don't like the fact that he's buddies with you, and I don't really like you, but I'm here because of my buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is that friend that there's a good chance I don't like hanging out with that guy because we might end up jailed by the end of the night, but I guess if we do, I'm right there with you.
Yeah. It's so great. Can you move your seat up?
No. There was a...
And I hate you.
Yeah. They're laying there on the ground. I hate you. There was a... I think I put it on the Facebook page earlier with that quote about standing like a tree and you tell the world that you're not going to move.
Yeah.
Then with that screenshot and him saying no.
No, that's great. You're the one who put up the Happy Mother's Day thing, right?
Yeah.
That's if
soon?
you go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/151 the show, you'll see one of the greatest memes ever.
Happy Mother's Day, Stark, the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, it's pretty great. So, and yeah, with that, you can also follow us on Twitter, 151 the show. Thank you to all the new people that are following us right now. We went from nobody to a ton of people. So,
You Twitterers.
good job. I'm proud of you. But yeah, just, to kind of wrap this whole thing up. I mean, such a great movie.
It is.
So many great parts. The fight's good. The
story's good.
The story's great. Iron Man is fantastic in it.
Black
Panther we haven't talked about at all.
Oh, no, we haven't. And he honestly, that would have been a much different movie without him. He's great. He's absolutely amazing.
That I really thought they were going to shoehorn him in, and it was going to be hard to kind of accept him as just.
Well, I mean, they did it without monologuing.
Yes.
You learned that Wakanda was a country that all the vibranium came from, out of a line the king said.
Yep.
You learned that Black Panther is a mantle passed down. You know that he's incredibly powerful right now. You may not know the extent of it, but you know that he's an Avenger League superhero.
Has something to do with that ring.
Yep, that it's been passed down, and they did it without beating you over the head with it.
And they set up the thing that, Wakanda tries to stay out of the world politics.
Yep.
until,
But they're-
reference to.
But they're incredibly rich and they're incredibly advanced, obviously, with the vibranium supply. And, you know that he can run and fight with Captain America.
I
and
thought
the
it was
Winter
a cool
Soldier.
editing thing when he dropped down from big heights. He made no sound when he hit.
Yeah.
Like
nice.
you hear Captain
Yeah.
America like tumbling and
Yep.
rolling and stuff. He drops and it's just quiet and he's gone.
Vibranium shoes, dude.
It has to be.
Yeah. That's what they do.
It's got to be the shoes.
So, no,
But,
it was a great character introduction. Again, they didn't beat us over the head with it. Just like, they could have drugged that Spider-Man crap out into 20 minutes and slowed down the movie. And instead, 5-minute scene.
I loved how I loved how this movie took some shots at some of the internet people. Like, how is your aunt so hot?
Yeah, your
well,
unusually attractive aunt.
Yeah, that was great. And then how she says, well, we come in all shapes and sizes.
Yep.
There was another one in there, but I can't think of what it was. But no, just fantastic.
Yep.
I had a lot of fun. I'm not willing to, right now, a lot of people are like, oh, it's the best Spider-Man movie ever. I'm not willing to go that. I really like Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker.
I don't think, and I was, on my spoiler-free review, I just said, best Cap, best Marvel, best,
Yeah.
And I don't think I said Spider-Man movie. Maybe I did. If I did, I'm sorry. Best Spider-Man introduction.
We'll find out exactly what
I
you
don't
said.
I don't need to be hit over the head with it. I know what happened to his parents. Now, this is going to be a pretty interesting take on Spider-Man.
Best Spider-Man movie right there.
Okay.
My spoiler-free review of Civil War, best Cap movie, best Iron Man movie, best Avenger movie, best Spider-Man movie, hottest Aunt May, Paul Rudd is delightful, Black Panther may be the best character introduction they've done so far. The entire movie was as close to flawless as you're going to get. The quality was every bit that of Winter Soldier.
Yep.
That was your writing.
I would say that honestly, the 3 Captain America movies are the highest consistent quality.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man 1, great. Iron Man 2, kind of put it in the crapper. Iron Man 3, differing reviews on that, obviously.
Very different reviews.
Captain America has been consistently excellent.
Yeah.
1, 2, and 3.
I got bored with the first one. I'll be
Yeah.
blunt. I got through about halfway through, and I'm like, I gotta go poo. and I came back. I'm like, what I missed, and my wife was like, not much.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, Winter Soldier, great.
High, very, very high quality on all 3 of them, very consistent. It was, I think, the best Spider-Man introduction. And it's the best movie I've ever seen that had Spider-Man in it. How about that?
Boy, I still like Toby.
But
You know what I will say?
But that's a better movie than any of those movies.
Than the Spider-Man?
Yeah. Oh yeah, buddy.
Spider-Man 1 and 2, the Tobey Maguire ones are really good. 3 is horrible.
They're good movies, but they're not this good.
I don't
Not
know,
for me.
man.
So,
Okay, for you maybe. For me, it's tough because Spider-Man's my favorite.
I know he is.
And this was a great Spider-Man. I want to see the Homecoming movie before I put that down. I will say this, though. It shows you how bad the Andrew Garfield ones were.
Yeah.
It really, really did.
Now, to go back and finish what I was saying a minute ago, though, it will be an interesting take on the character. He's only been doing this 6 months before he gets tied up with Tony Stark in the Avengers. Mm-hmm. I mean, you think about historically about the character, on his own, broke,
Tried to join the Fantastic Four, and they said no.
Exactly. Now we're going into suddenly, he's been on the job 6 months. Stark's taking him under his wing. I mean, you have rocket launched, the growth of this character suddenly.
Yeah, it was great seeing how he had some flaws to him.
Mm-hmm.
And especially his fighting and all that, and how Tony kind of outsmarted him at every point, like finding his costume. Can you even see out of these things?
Exactly.
That was funny.
So it'll be an interesting character development.
So does that pretty much wrap up Civil War?
I think so. Go see it. If you haven't seen it, if we haven't spoiled it for you, go see it.
I want to see it again.
Comes out. I want to see it again. Exactly.
I totally want to see it again.
It's a great flick.
It's probably, you know what? It's up there in probably the top 3 of best comic book movies.
Yeah.
I would really, I could make an argument for it at least.
The only thing that I can pick on this movie that really kind of took me out of it, that torqued me off, I completely believed that young Tony Stark, when they CGI'd him and de-aged him,
yeah,
was, footage that they shot, right after they wrapped Back to School, with Rodney Dangerfield in 1986.
Yeah.
Totally believe that. There's like 2 shots at the airport of him standing there, and I think it's the way they've scaled or focused the background or something that it looks like a high-end video game for just a minute.
Oh, really? I did
Yep.
not notice that.
It's a close-up when he's got the mask down right when they're first talking. There's a little bit of scene there that just absolutely, I'm like, how did you do this perfectly and this like
I got
crap?
you. Such a good movie, though, overall.
Such a good movie.
And you know what? I like living in a world where Iron Man could probably take Captain America as long as he didn't have to fight the Winter Soldier at the same time.
Yeah, I like that balance.
That's how tough Iron Man is in the bleeding edge armor.
Yep.
Love it. So, all right, that's going to do it for us. Of course, as always, make sure to join us on Facebook, facebook.com. Oh, yeah, the T-shirts. I'll get to mine in a second because that's part of something else.
I'm just rocking Comic-Con, man.
Are you
We're gonna go
after all this, are you Team Iron Man or Team Captain America?
a little bit Team Cap, a little bit Team Iron Man. I mean, honestly, I'm
You're going with the ending where it's like not everyone's happy, but not everyone's sad.
Here's the thing. When it comes down to it, Tony's my spirit animal, but I mean, Captain America's Captain America. You know, if Chris Evans kicked down the door right now and said, "Hey, I'm actually Captain America. Let's go," I would hold his coat while he kicked in the doors of hell. I mean,
Hey, you know a lot of superheroes. Thanks for thinking of me.
Thanks for thinking of me. I would be that guy. I would probably just like squeeze on Chris Evans. Because yes, Captain America, I'm old school. I mean,
All right.
Captain America has always friggin' America.
Gotcha.
He calls, you answer. Tony's been known to make some mistakes, but Captain America, when he calls, you go.
All right. Like I said a few seconds ago, make sure to join us on Facebook, .com/151theshow. Also on Twitter, at 151theshow, SoundCloud. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. And that brings us to the shameless plug.
Cue the music.
This week's shameless plug is kind of an interesting one because all I have to show for it is kind of this shirt. Wait, I gotta go this way. There it is. Now, for some of you at home, you may be pro wrestling fans. I'm a pro wrestling fan. I haven't watched as Die Hard for a while, but one of my buddies, his name is, I can't remember what his in-ring name is, so I don't know if I should say it.
You have a buddy.
Yeah, and he is part of something called the Hard Foundation. Okay? Which, if you know what it's a reference to, the WWE had the Hart Foundation with Bret Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and Owen Hart was in the original tag team was just Jim and Bret Hart, but they wrestle here in Iowa, and I think they go around a lot, but they call it the Hard Foundation, and their hashtag on Twitter is Get Weird. Okay, it's quite simply amazing stuff, and it's funny. They come to the ring to Careless Whisper, and they really, really put on a show of it.
Very tongue-in-cheek.
Yes, it's hugely tongue-in-cheek. I believe they're champions right now. But yeah, they do the whole thing where they come out with baby oil and squirt each other with it. And it's very cool. See, there they are. There's the Hard Foundation right there. Their website is, their fan page, I guess, on Facebook is facebook.com/Hard Foundation.
So
I want to. This is the dude that gave me the shirt.
nice shorts. Go check them out if you're looking for some wrestling entertainment. You know, baby oil makes everything better.
Oh yeah, and just hearing some of the stories about it, they have fun with it. They make a show out of it. People really, really dig it, and yeah. I wish we kind of put this together fast, so it's probably not a great as shameless plug as what it should be. But go check out Hard Foundation on Facebook.com. You will not be disappointed. It's a lot of fun.
Meanwhile, we're going to get our asses to Comic-Con.
Yes, so we will see you next time. I'm Adam. That's the man they call Justin.
So, hey, if you were there and you saw us, we literally did this. You're going to see this gear right here because we're coming to you. So
I'm putting on a different shirt. I like the Hard Foundation, but not that. No, I want to wear my
All right,
Deadpool.
well, you know. Oh yeah, you
I got a Deadpool
Gotta
shirt.
rock Deadpool.
So we'll see you next time, everybody. Have a good week. If you like this video as much as Justin did, please make sure to follow us on these other fine media platforms.